Okay, I got it. Okay, let's take a comfortable seat together. Fuzzies and all. And rest your hands in your lap. Go ahead and close your eyes. Allow your breathing to help you to settle in. And lengthen up through the crown of your skull if you haven't yet, and let your shoulder blades glide down your upper back. And try to sense the space between the base of your skull and the top of the shoulder blades. Let's call that the back of the neck, but also from the inside, can you sense the back of the throat? And then notice the air moving over the back of the throat so that both inhale and exhale, you can feel the contact of the breath and the throat. You may notice that the quality of the air and the temperature is different during inhale and exhale. I'd like us to have a focus in the throat this morning, and that's because I'm going to focus the practice on what's called Udana Vayu. And this is the region in the throat where energy, prana, would rise up beneficially towards the mind if prana is organized in the lower three vayus. If prana is not organized well in the lower three vayus, we tend to use the throat less skillfully as a transmission for energy or prana. And we do things like overeating, over-consuming. We might drink more than we need, could be caffeine or alcohol or other things, soda and so on. We may end up speaking more than we need to or vocalizing more than we need to. And so at the Udana Vayu, we want to have a purposeful sense of moving prana up towards the mind for meditation and for clear seeing. So when you're noticing the air at the back of the throat, now start to make the back of the throat a little bit more hollow, as if you were at the doctor's office and they were going to ask you with the tongue depressor to make an ah sound. Now the hollow for that in Ujjayi breath should feel like it's right behind the sternoclavicular notch, right behind this little indent above the collarbone. Even though the air is coming and going through the nose, it'll feel like you're breathing at this spot in the throat. And sometimes you'll hear me recommend that you put the tip of the tongue behind the top two teeth, and that's a way of depressing the back of the tongue and making that hollow spot in the throat a little bit more round, a little more open. Keeping this Ujjayi breath now really smooth. Your primary attention should be in the lower part of the throat where the air is going to be moving in a more concentrated way. So as you notice that, now interlace your fingers and inhale the heels of the hands straight down and then forward and slowly up with the full length of your in-breath. And then exhale, turn your palms face down and squeeze the hands down behind your head so the elbows go wide and the shoulder blades come towards your spine. And then inhale, press your arms back up. And exhale, press out to the sides of your room. Reach back to clasp your hands at the small of your back. And as you inhale, roll the shoulders back and open. Listen for the Ujjayi sound in your throat. And then exhale, return your hands to the front part of the body. And stay with the Ujjayi. So even though the movement came to an end there, the breath is going to continue. So you're going to sense that as the constancy, the Ujjayi breath, almost like the thread on which the beads of the mala are placed. Clasp your hands again. Inhale, Ujjayi, raise the arms up slowly with the full length of your inhale. Exhale, bring your hands down behind your head, squeeze the elbows wide, shoulder blades in. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, push out. Imagine that you're pressing energy and air down to be more grounded. Clasp your hands at the small of your back and inhale, roll your shoulders back and open. And exhale, release your hands back to your lap. Stay with the Ujjayi. So even though the movement becomes still, the breath continues. And we're going to add to that sequence. It's helpful if you know that you can bow forward from your seat without hitting your head on something, like in my case, a microphone. Interlace your fingers. Okay, inhale, forward and up. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale up to center. Exhale, side bend left. So you're squeezing first the ascending colon and then the descending colon. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, turn your palms face down, bring the hands down behind your head and squeeze the elbows backwards. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, arms wide. And this time as you interlace your fingers, again, we're going to roll the shoulders open for the inhale. The exhale is going to become a forward bend. So inhale to open. And exhale to come forward and down. Inhale, raise up to your seat. And exhale, hands to your lap. So far, and keep the Ujjayi breath going, please. So far, the focus is really Udana and Udana Vayu, a little bit of touching into Apana Vayu. We're going to add to that, so clasp your hands. Ujjayi breath in. Exhale, side bend to your right. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, left. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, press out. Clasp your hands. Inhale, open the upper back, your chest and your shoulders. And then exhale and come down to this forward bend. And if your head does not reach the floor, please put a block or a blanket there. We're going to stay down for a few breath cycles. Raise your arms up behind you. On the exhale, focus on squeezing the lower belly. And then exhale and bring yourself up to your seat using the low belly to bring up your trunk and torso. And then release your hands to your knees. And now you can release also the Ujjayi breath and just sit quietly in your center. We'll make no effort with the breath right now, but do notice how the air comes in and goes out all on its own. Now resuming the Ujjayi breath. I'll just tell you the other reason that this is a focus right now is I'm working a lot with people on vagal tone, and Ujjayi breathing can really help with your vagal tone, your overall vagal tone. So please bring the Ujjayi breath back in. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, raise up slowly. This time, exhale, twist to your right. Now, keeping your torso twisting to the right, breathe in. And then exhale, turn only your head to your left, keeping the Ujjayi breath strong and smooth. Inhale, turn your head to your right. Exhale, rotate to your left. Once more, inhale, rotate to the right. And then exhale, unwind. Bring your hands around to your knees. The Ujjayi breath continues even though the movement has come to an end there. Interlace your fingers, second side. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, twist to your left. Breathe in, lengthen the spine up through your twist. And then exhale, turn just your head to your right. Inhale to your left. Exhale, glide smoothly to the right. No sense of urgency or rushing. And once more, inhale to your left. And then exhale, keeping the Ujjayi breath, rest your hands on your knees. Now, keeping the Ujjayi breath going, we're going to add an action for the eyes. So as you're sitting still with the eyelids closed, inhale and gaze to your right. Exhale to center. Inhale, gaze left. Exhale, glide to center. Your gaze comes back to neutral. Inhale, gaze to your right. Exhale to center. Again to your left. And to center. Now, keeping the Ujjayi breath going, interlace your fingers. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, twist to your right. Now, as you're twisting to the right, inhale, move your eyes further to the right inside. Exhale, turn your head to your left. And during the inhale, glide your vision to the left, even though your eyes are closed. Exhale, turn your head back to the right. During the inhale, slide your gaze to the right, even though the eyes are closed. And exhale, come around to center. Rest your hands on your knees. Keep the Ujjayi breath moving. Notice the feeling of the breath in Ujjayi is in the back hollow of the throat down low. Interlace your fingers. One more time through the other side. So raising up. And then exhale, rotate to your left. Inhale, slide your gaze to the left, even though your eyes are closed. Exhale, turn only your head to the right. Inhale, gaze to your right. Exhale, turn your head to your left. Inhale, your eyes to the left. Exhale, return to center. And this time at the end of the Ujjayi exhale, relax the breath and the movements and just sit in quiet, noticing. Particularly notice the quality of your mind, the state of your mind. The Ujjayi breath acts like an adaptogen. Adaptogens are herbs that can nourish our system to rise or helps the system to ground. And adaptogens are directed at the adrenal system. So Ujjayi is like an adaptogen. It balances us from wherever we've come in. If our Udana Vayu was in excess, too much talking and blabbering, then it helps to bring that energy back into the throat. And if we were self-medicating with food and substances and cigarettes and things, it helps to soothe that which we were trying to self-medicate. So we're able to use Udana Vayu more thoughtfully. So please raise your hands to your heart. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryang Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Mo Vidveshavai Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryang Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavai Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saviryang Karavai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshavai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. With your exhale, you may bow your head to your heart. Release your hands and open your eyes. Okay, now after all of that, she has settled into my lap and it's time to come up to standing. So please rise up to stand, honey. I know it's terrible news. It's terrible. You finally settled down. I'm going to come up to standing, okay? Yeah, it's going to happen. It's happening right now. It's happening. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Please come to Uttanasana. Let's put you aside. There you go. Okay, please come into Uttanasana with your feet hip distance apart and come down to your forward bend. Don't touch the microphone because sometimes you push the mute button by mistake. Okay. Okay, as you come down, please energize your toes and your heels. And from there, your arches, your calves, your leg muscles, inner, outer thighs, front and back of the thighs. And as you inhale, lift the base of your skull, listening to the hollow sound of the Ujjayi breath, glide your spine forward. As you exhale, take a deep bow towards the legs without changing the tone of the throat or the Ujjayi breath. So when you inhale to glide forward, when you exhale to bow deeply, the throat should stay, relatively speaking, in the same shape. That means that you're not rushing your chin towards your shins to make your Uttanasana deeper. And we're not lifting from the chin to go into Ardha Uttanasana either. Now, keeping the Ujjayi breath consistent with your next inhale, sweep your arms wide and rise up to upward hands pose. And then exhale, hands down to your heart. Okay, inhale, raise your arms, keeping the Ujjayi breath going. It's like an adaptogen, so keep it consistent. Exhale, come into chair pose. Inhale to the back of the throat and also the back of your waist. Exhale, bow deeply over your chair pose while straightening your legs into Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward, lift from the base of your skull as if the back of the throat were lifting you to Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale to bow deeply towards your legs. Inhale, rise up, Ujjayi, upward hand pose. And exhale, hands to your heart. Now, keeping the Ujjayi consistent, we're going to step into surya namaskar. So Ujjayi will be the thread through each of the beads on the mala, through each of the poses in the sequence. So inhale, upward hands, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Utkatasana. Inhale to the back of your throat and the back of your waist. Exhale, come over your thighs and transition to Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward, lift the base of your skull. Exhale, left toes back and left knee down. Inhale, rise up, anjaneyasana. Exhale, descend. Nandita, don't play with that, please. Okay, now inhale, we're going to straighten both legs, whatever capacity you have for your hamstrings and your hips right now. And then exhale, glide forward again, touch your left knee down. Inhale, anjaneyasana, keeping the Ujjayi breath really smooth. Exhale, fold over your right thigh and use the folding to squeeze the lower belly. Inhale, straighten both legs, whatever amount you're able to, while your chest and thighs stay relatively close together. Exhale, glide forward. So you're going to, again, squeeze the belly as you touch your left knee down. Your spine is in full flexion. Inhale, anjaneyasana. And exhale, this time we're going to release and we'll be stepping forward towards Uttanasana. So inhale, straighten your left leg. And exhale, float your left foot to meet your right foot for Uttanasana. In breath, lift the base of your skull. Exhale, right toes back and right knee down. Inhale, anjaneyasana. Exhale, fold over your left leg, squeeze the lower belly. Inhale, straighten each leg. Exhale, glide into anjaneyasana, into the base of the pose. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, keeping your focus at the back of the throat, even though you're organizing physical movement. Let's inhale, straighten both legs. And once more, exhale into the deep foundation of anjaneyasana. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, as you touch the floor, prepare for stepping forward. So inhale, straighten your right leg. And exhale, float forward. Inhale, rise up, upward hands pose, keeping the Ujjayi breath smooth. Exhale, hands to your heart. Without any break in the Ujjayi sound, inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, Utkatasana. Stay for the in-breath. Exhale, bow over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, take your left toes back, left knee down, Anjaneyasana as the foundation. Now inhale, raise up to Anjaneyasana, and staying in the lifted position, exhale, twist to your right. Place your left hand on the outside of your right knee, and now inhale, reach with the right arm. And then exhale, come down to where you started at the base of Anjaneyasana. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, glide deeply forward, touch your left knee down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, twist to your right. Inhale, reach through your right arm. Exhale, release towards the floor. Once more, straighten both legs. Exhale once more into the foundation. We're adding this twist to address what's called Udana Vayu. So inhale, raise up. Exhale, twist to your right. Stay for the inhale. And exhale, return. Prepare to step forward. So on the inhale, straighten your left leg. And then exhale, float forward. Inhale, raise the base of your skull, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, right toes back and right knee down. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Rotate to your left. Exhale to the foundation. Inhale, straighten both legs. And exhale to bow over your legs As you bend your right knee, left knee, excuse me, touch the right knee down. There's your foundation. Inhale, rise up. Open the spine and the heart. And exhale, twist left. Inhale, reach with your left arm. Exhale, return to the foundation. Inhale, straighten both legs. Exhale, bow over your front leg as your front leg glides forward. So you're squeezing the lower belly. And last time, rise up. Rotate. Reach. And then release. Inhale, straighten your right leg. And exhale, float forward. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. And then stand in mountain pose. So mountain pose, you're just totally relaxed. You can release the breath also. Feel free to close your eyes. And try to imagine how prana, this larger force in the body, how is it organized in you right now? Like, where do you sense this vitality? Where is there, if any place, the absence of vitality? Or someplace where it's in excess? Or is it relatively balanced? Okay, take a wide stance. So of course, the aim of a yoga practice, there's many aims, but one is to balance the pranas in the body so that we digest our food better, we have easier elimination, we have better circulation, we make wiser use of this region in the throat, and we have a more clear mind, capacity for meditation. Our practice is also, it's like a self-discovery landscape. We start noticing when we get restless, when we feel impatient, when we feel really calm and tranquil, and then we doubt that that's okay, or we feel distracted or lethargic, and we're noticing that too. So in all of that observing, I want you to imagine for this morning, as if you were in a submarine and you've gone down into the body to look at this inner landscape that also includes your mind. And you're actually just looking and noticing, but it doesn't interfere very much. It's not distracting to you because the Ujjayi sound in the throat is captivating most of your attention. But you have a little extra, on the submarine, the thing that goes up and it looks around to see where the ship is. You have this little extra antenna to check when things are arising in this field of awareness, but you're not picking them up. You're not identifying with them or getting irritated with them. They just happen to be there. You reach back and interlace your fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back. Now, as you're standing with your feet hopefully mostly parallel, bring your hips forward until your hips are lined up with your toes. And you might start to feel that the hip flexors are stretching on the front side right there. And as you roll the shoulders back, then open your chest, your heart, and your throat. And exhale, glide your hips back in line with your heels. Come forward and down. Parsvottanasana with the arms in Yogi Mudra. And then inhale, raise up just halfway. And exhale for a deep bow to your legs. Inhale, glide up. As you're gliding up, once your torso is upright, then exhale, glide your hips forward. Yes. And inhale to open your heart. And then exhale, glide your hips back in line with your heels. Come forward and down. Inhale, lift the base of your skull. Glide forward. Ardha Prasarita Padottanasana. Exhale and then deeply bow into the pose. And inhale, rise up slowly, tone your inner thighs, inner arches, your hips. And once you're up, then exhale, glide your hips forward. And inhale, open your heart and your throat. And then exhale, and one more time, please come down. Inhale, lift the base of your skull, glide a little forward. And exhale to bow towards your legs. Okay, now inhale, rise up just to the starting position. And exhale, release the clasp of your hands. Let the arms dangle. And notice that you've moved energy around, so it's possible that your arms are going to feel a little bit warmer. You can check again, how is prana organized right now? And if we went into that activity with a kind of attitude of staccato, more than gelato, I like to say, if it was bumpy or forced, or we're clenching our teeth, or we feel irritated with something about ourselves or our lives, then how prana organizes is going to be different. But if we go in with this smooth attitude, a kind of curious consideration, then how it's organized is going to be different again. You turn your right foot directly to the right. Slide the left heel back. So it's not going to be your longest stride. So slide the left heel back. It's for parsvottanasana. Yeah. Now, for lots of us, going over the front leg is not going to be as flexible as it is for me. So when I come forward, this ability to come down, I have very flexible hamstrings. But I don't really want us to overly rely on that. So what I'm going to suggest is that we take 2 blocks on the tall setting. Overly relying on your flexibility has its detriments, and sometimes you miss something subtle in a yoga pose that you would otherwise give attention to. So let's put the 2 blocks on the tall setting, right foot forward, turn the left heel back so your hips are able to kind of square off towards the front of your yoga mat. Okay, interlace your fingers. Strongly anchor your tailbone, stabilize your left heel. And then as you raise up with your chest and your heart, keep the left hip gliding forward so the left butt is toned right now. And then exhale, keep your left hip strong, energize your right hip, your right thigh, come forward about halfway, okay, and then inhale, glide back up. So that's just halfway forward for right now. Notice your right hamstrings on the way up. And now inhale, open your chest, your heart, and your throat. Okay, exhale, glide halfway forward. Inhale, rise up, use your right hip, right hamstrings, left butt, left heel. And with this inhale, accentuate the lift of your heart and open your throat. And then exhale, and again, come just halfway forward. And in this position, then touch your fingertips to the 2 blocks, and we're going to do cat pose with the inhalation. And then cow pose with the exhalation. And then inhale into cat pose right here. And this is called parsvottanasana, this particular stance. And exhale into cow pose. And once more, inhale to cat pose. And then exhale and turn the blocks down any amount, or use the floor to come down into parsvottanasana. Maintain the Ujjayi breath, even though your body is going to become more still in this pose. We've moved prana in a specific kind of dance. And now see if you might organize that prana through the Ujjayi breath as a breath adaptogen. And then raise up to your halfway mark and energize your right hip and hamstrings to bring yourself upright. And we're going to change sides. Let's take the blocks with us. You can do-si-do your partner, bring your left foot directly. Make the right heel at an angle behind you. Change the interlace of your fingers this time so it feels like it's somebody else's hand you're holding on to. Okay, tone your right leg, keep the right knee straight, tone the right butt. You can glide the right hip a little forward, you're going to feel your hip flexors there. And then inhale to open. And use the Ujjayi exhale to come halfway forward. Notice your left hip, your left hamstrings, your left knee. Inhale, glide up, using your hip and your hamstrings to do that. And exhale, glide your right hip forward as you lift your heart. And then inhale to open the chest, heart, and throat. And exhale, come just halfway forward. Keep your left leg strong as you rise up. Inhale to open. And then exhale, come halfway forward. And this time we're going to place the fingertips on the blocks. And as you inhale, bring your spine into cat pose. Exhale to cow pose. Inhale to cat. Use the Ujjayi sound to keep most of your attention in the back of the throat, just noticing the trance that you can create with the Ujjayi. And then we're going to exhale and come down over your left leg, whatever amount is appropriate for your flexibility. And stay with the Ujjayi breath. So there's a quality of continuity like the thread on which you place the beads of the mala. And then walk your hands back up to the halfway mark, wherever that happens to be for you. And then use your left hip and hamstrings to bring yourself all the way back up. And then let's make the feet parallel and step into mountain pose in the center. And again, pause to notice, how does prana feel in terms of how is it organized, right? Okay, then please take a seat on a blanket or a bolster. If you're someone who can't in a pose called janu sirsasana, if you don't easily reach your foot, I'm also going to recommend that you have a strap, a yoga strap. You take the left foot in and the right leg out. I think sometimes people are very enamored of doing their forward bends with their legs straight and their backs straight. But we're going to start this forward bend actually with the leg, this leg bent. And that's because I want to give you the opportunity to have contact from your thigh against your torso for the benefit of the apana and samana vayus. So when you have your right leg out to the side, energize the toes, rotate your torso towards your right leg. So there's a little twist in the torso, keep the left hip grounded, and then bend your right knee up until it touches your thigh. So slide it up so that it touches your chest, excuse me. And reach for your right big toe with your left hand. And you keep twisting the inner belly to your right. And then start to slide your right leg out slowly. And just go as far as you're able to maintain contact with your foot, and your torso and your thigh are still touching. Little rotation of your belly to the right. But as you're coming down, it's not like you're looking for this destination where your right leg is straight and so is your back. You're looking to stay connected from the torso to your thigh. Also bow your head so the pose is more inward. Whether your right leg is straight or bent, bow your head and go inside with the Ujjayi breath. Now, placing both hands on the floor on either side of your right knee, keep your torso and your thigh touching as you push down and you come back up with the right knee bent. So your torso and your thigh didn't have to separate there. And now with the right thigh snug to the chest, wrap your left hand around your right thigh. Walk your right hand behind you and please twist to your right. So you're moving the lower belly to the right. The pelvis is stable. It's the inner belly that's moving. Then rotate through your rib cage and your chest and your heart, and then through your head. And then exhale, come around to face forward. Take your right ankle with your left hand and come into sirsasana, or whatever your preference is. And notice how prana is organized right now. It's okay to feel asymmetrical. You might feel a little bit lopsided. And take the left leg out to the side. So when you keep the torso and the thigh touching like this, you're also slowing down. Sometimes people go into this pose and they're like trying to straighten their back by moving their chin forward, or they're trying to get closer to their foot by moving their chin forward. And that disturbs or distresses this Udana Vayu. It's kind of like the grasping or searching nature of the human mind. So we're going to rotate to the left, bend your left knee, reach for your big toe so you can hold it. And you're going to bend your knee as much as you need to, or hold with a strap if that's better for you. But I do want your thigh and your torso to be in contact. And then you can bow your head a little bit, keep rotating your belly to your left. And then start sliding the left heel out slowly without losing contact between your thigh and your chest. And think not of an end destination, but of the journey to where you're ideally experiencing yoga, not just a photograph of yoga. And stay with the Ujjayi sound, so it's your constant companion this morning. And then place both hands on either side of your left knee. Please press down and roll your heel and your torso back up. And slide your foot in close so the chest and thigh are touching. Wrap your right hand around. Please twist to your left. Exhale, come around to center. Take your left ankle with your right hand and come into Sirsasana or into sitting. Relax the Ujjayi breath now and just be really in observation mode, just noticing. And please come down to Shavasana, a Shavasana of your choice. If you're in a particular space where it's chilly, of course, I'm going to recommend that you cover up. Come into Shavasana so you can integrate the practice. And when you get to Shavasana, let it be a kind of complete surrender there. So prana can organize itself, but you're not in charge of that. And if possible, in this Shavasana, you are still in your little submarine, aware of what's happening kind of in the field around you and whatever flickers come onto your radar screen, but you're not disturbed by those things. In Shavasana, we do not maintain Ujjayi breathing. You're going to relax that too. So this is a time where that also surrenders. Allow the mind to be deeply quiet, even though you may have awareness of what's moving through. And with awareness of the body, just notice how prana is organizing itself. There's nothing for you to do. However, don't distract prana from its job by daydreaming or fantasizing, planning. Simply rest your mind. Allow your mind to go deeply, for 1 more minute, deeply into quiet, observing that prana all on its own will organize itself very beautifully. And then you can lightly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Please roll to your side and return to your seat. As you come up to your seat, also take notice of the overall feeling tone of prana in your body. So we'll use a chanting practice now, which will support Udana Vayu, and in a similar way as Ujjayi breathing is an adaptogen, this chanting practice is also an adaptogen. It can provide grounding, but also energizing. Other adaptogens in yoga are things like ashwagandha. In Ayurveda. Ashwagandha is an herb, and holy basil, also called Tulsi. Those are adaptogens also. These are physical practices that can act like adaptogens. So we'll be using the sound lam for the base, and then wam for the second, and ram, R-A-M, for the third. Lam, 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 lam. During the M sound, bring your lips slightly inside the teeth and make the back of the throat a more hollow chamber for the vibration of the sound. Lam, 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 lam. Lam, 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 lam. Lam, 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 lam. Now the next note. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, 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 wam. Now rum, R-A-M. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. And now using that note, come into Brahmari. So you're going to close the senses, vibrate in the throat using the note Ram, and it will further help to support Udana Vayu, so the senses will not be pulling us away, and we'll be able to sense the Udana after the Brahmari when we sit in meditation. So please close the eyelids, put your index fingers on the forehead, pinkies can be on your cheeks. Firmly close your ears, and 3 times we'll do Brahmari. And you can release your hands to your lap. Rest quietly without any application or practice, simply sitting quietly. Listen for the possibility of tranquility, mental tranquility. And please raise your hands to your heart. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. So now when the Udana Vayu is balanced, may we not have non-purposeful speech or harsh speech. May we not have non-purposeful ingesting of things like, grazing, eating, not realizing what you're eating, or smoking or drinking, whatever stimulants or suppressants, all those things. May we just really respect the vitality that passes through the throat. And we want to eat nourishing food, food as medicine. We want to speak nourishing words as healing or as respectful communication. And we also want silence. So this energy pathway is not always occupied. That's why we're not always eating. We're not always talking. We want the silence, the space for transmission from the prana moving upwards to the mind. Healthy prana, not disorganized, chaotic prana. Thank you. I'm looking forward to your questions or your reflections. Now, if these practices are helpful to you, of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, click like for the videos that help you, so I'll know, I'll get that feedback, and leave comments or questions down below as well. Thank you once again.